We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go. Hi everybody, I'm Sophie, he's Mike, and she's Brenda, and welcome to On the Road with Mickey. If you're returning for another adventure with us, welcome back. We are so glad you have returned safely. And if this is your first episode with us and you're new here, welcome. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm going to show you the reins today. First up, we have our Cheddar from the Big Cheese, which is basically our Disney news snippets. And then after that, we have our feature topic, which is what we talk about for most of the episode. And then after that, we have our This Day in Disney History, brought to you by me. And after that is our game of Who's Who, and that is brought to you by Mike, my dad. Oh, fair warning, I'm almost never wrong when it comes to this game. I almost always win it. And then after that, Brenda will be giving us a quote from the big man himself, Walt Disney, and it's just going to be amazing. So buckle up, keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the car at all times. Make sure you're safe, fasten your seatbelts, all that good stuff. And we will see you on the road. It's time to get going. Let's go!
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie.
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
And he's Grogu. And we're on the road with Mickey. This is Season 2, Episode 36 for September 6, 2021. And it is Labor Day here in the United States, so happy Labor Day. And our feature topic this week is appropriate because it's a holiday. We are going to talk about planning for a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking about things you might want to consider when you're going to be at Walt Disney World during a holiday. So we hope this is an informative session and that you guys get a lot of good information and all that. But we're going to start with our updates from last week. So, in the Facebook group, I had asked people what were some of the things that they wanted to do most in the Never Have I Ever category. And the prevailing wisdom was that the behind the scenes tours are what people want to do when they're back.
Gotcha.
And so, I think that's perfect because that's what I said.
Yeah.
So I win.
That's got to be perfect.
I win.
Fair enough, Daddy. I didn't realize last week was a competition.
Oh, well, it always is.
And you know who usually wins our competitions?
Yeah.
And Brenda, obviously.
Obviously. Well,
we can't stump this so for long.
No. And I have a great comment. Brenda, your guests came through and
Mine?
left an incredible comment on what the cast members are looking for to be chosen to be the Grand Marshal of the parade.
Was it PJ?
It was PJ.
She's my girl. She's one of the ones that have been marshaled 3 or 4 times. Did she say 3 or 4 times? Is it 4 or 3? I don't know, but they keep getting chosen.
She didn't say, but she's told us this is what they're looking for. They are looking for people without little kids. And the reason for that is they typically don't pick kids because of the time commitment. Because it usually takes 2 to 4 hours when you're chosen as a Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
Okay. And she said that when you get to the parks, just leisurely stroll. Stop at Starbucks, get a drink, take in Main Street before you really get into the park, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, and all that. Yeah. So just kind of relax and take it a little easy. Yeah. And then she said, show the Disney spirit. They typically wear matching shirts,
they do.
ears,
Cute.
and sometimes shoes.
Wow.
Cute. They are so cute.
And then last thing she said, the last time they were picked, the cast member followed them from Main Street to the Haunted Mansion, which was his favorite ride. And she said they've had different people pick them each time. So
Did she send any pictures?
she didn't send any pictures. She
I'm
left a
going to find
comment
the
on our website.
pictures. I'm going to send them to you, and I'm going
Okay.
to show you how cute they are. They're so cute.
Okay.
Aw.
I
They have
love it.
Okay.
really been blessed, and I love when they let me know that they got chosen. I told her if they ever don't choose them, I hope they're not disappointed their whole trip because they've been just really blessed, and they're just sweet people,
Oh, wow.
very sweet
Yeah.
people.
So
Good
thank you,
choice.
PJ, for your
Yay.
comment. She
Yay,
left
PJ.
it. She left it on our post that she found it on the road with Mickey.com. And that's probably where she listened from. And it was a great comment. So thank you so much.
Yay.
Yep.
And that is our updates from last week. So let's segue into our cheddar from the big cheese. And finally, after like forever and a day, Walt Disney World has announced that annual passes will be going back on sale starting September 8th. And you may remember if you had an annual pass, you could renew it. If you didn't renew it, then maybe you could get it renewed down the road, but it was like a case by case basis. But if you didn't have one, you couldn't buy one.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
and they have
wow.
4 types of passes, 3 of which are for Florida residents or DVC members only. And the 4th pass, which is known as the Disney and Credit Pass, is open to everyone and is the most expensive at $1,299 per plus tax per person for a year. And
So what I understand is we'll definitely be moving to Florida sometime soon.
maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that is a big price tag. So
Yeah. So
other
I'm
ones-
thinking,
the other ones aren't as expensive, and you can do monthly payments if you're a Florida resident. So
yeah, that's why I was thinking if we become Florida residents,
yeah,
we get a better deal. So
yeah.
Well,
It's a
the fact
thought.
that they brought them back at all is a big deal.
Yeah,
it
It's
is
been
a
a
very
long
big
time
deal.
coming.
it is. All right. So, Brenda, what do you got?
Well, a couple of things of note. Some of the club level lounges are reopening. The lounge at Animal Kingdom Lodge is now open. The Royal Palm Club at Grand Floridian opens on the 16th of September, and the Boardwalk Resort opens on September 23rd, and the Contemporary on September 26th. Other club level lounges will be open beyond that. So
Ooh.
they'll be coming along. That's another big step.
Yeah.
Also, Disney Cruise Line's offering a 25% off on sailings for September, October, and November. Not every sailing, but select sailings. September and October, November this year, 2021. So
Mm.
reach out to us if you want to look into pricing for those.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to cruise.
I mean, I definitely do, but we need to square some things away first.
Yeah. And
Yep.
this is September, October, November. We're not cruising in that time
Yeah,
period.
but you have to really be flexible to be able to pull that off that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to my bit of news. It's the last one that we have for today. A couple weeks ago at the Animal Kingdom Park, Azizi and Gino, 2 Western lowland gorillas, gave birth to their first baby girl. And the
Aw.
troupe themselves revealed the name. She is going to be called Ada, which means first daughter, and this is appropriate because this is Azizi's first daughter that she's had, not just with Gino. And you may be able to see them at the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail, where they have been seen bonding. Oh my gosh, that's so
That's so
cute.
sweet.
It is sweet. And
Sweet.
what they did, and I didn't put the video up, but I can include the link in the show notes. What they did is the cast members that work with the animals, they took like rice cereal and spelled out her name,
Oh,
okay, throughout the
Oh,
trail, right?
wow.
And then they covered it with paper. And so the animals, the gorillas and whatnot, they like to explore their habitat, and this gave them a curiosity of what's going on here. And so they pulled
Oh,
it off and then everyone saw the name, and it's
oh,
all
that's
wow.
throughout the various parts of the park. It was so cool.
that is awesome.
Oh my
It was
That
so
gosh.
is
neat.
awesome. How
That's
original is that?
amazing.
It was really neat. So
That's cool.
I was like, that is so cool. So I will include the link to the YouTube video that they shared with the world on the show notes.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love that.
So,
All
but yeah,
right.
it is kind of cool.
It is. Very cool.
All
Okay,
right.
then.
So, just a reminder, check us out. You got our links to our different areas in the show notes.
Yeah.
And now we are planning for a holiday. And
Mm-hmm.
we chose this obviously because it's Labor Day today. And we thought it would make sense to kind of go over some things that um, that might make sense. So when your Walt Disney World vacation is during a holiday, there's some things that you need to keep in mind that will make your trip more memorable for you and your family. And these are some of the things we always think of when we're planning our trips, and we hope that you find them useful as well. And so, you know, we're just going to kind of, you know, popcorn these out or throw them out as just
Yeah.
suggestions for when we're taking our trips. Um, and, I don't have any order or anything like that, but I thought I would start us off. And to me, the prevailing wisdom for all of this is just to stop and smell the flowers,
Yeah.
and by that I mean relax, take it in a little bit. Know that you're at a holiday. It's going to be more packed, more crowded than normal. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind and just really use that, take the time to slow down a little bit and just, you know, take a look at some of the things that you might just blow by normally. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know, but that's the first thing I wanted to mention. So what are your girls' thoughts?
Well, my thoughts regarding holidays is usually that, and this is just me thinking about like the big major holidays, like specifically Halloween and Christmas. My thoughts is that it's a special time of the year, so of course Disney is going to decorate for that special time of the year. And I really think that when you're experiencing such a big holiday at Disney, it's a very good idea to get as many pictures as you can. And I mean, this is a good idea to do it during any time at Disney because Disney is visually stunning. But I especially like seeing Disney when it's decorated for Halloween or for Christmas. And I think there have even been times when I've seen it decorated for Easter, although that may be me mistaking Easter for the Flower and Garden Festival this spring.
Gotcha.
It's usually the same time.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
at the same time. So
yeah. Hmm.
so take a look at the pictures. Make sure you take your pictures of the different parks
Yep.
Yeah.
of what you're seeing for the decorations.
Yep.
Good
And of
idea,
course.
Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm going all the way back to the front because that's how my brain works, step by step. I'm a list maker. So, first thing
Good.
is use an agent to plan your holiday trip. Second thing is as soon as you know the dates that will work, go ahead and book it. because you want to get in there early so you have the option to get the resort you want and get those park pass reservations made. So you are locked into what park you want to be, because this is going to be a very popular time and you're going to want to make sure you're able to go to the park you want to be at on each day.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely right. Yeah. Good
As you
job,
guys
Brenda.
as you guys can realize, Miss Brenda is the one who's thought this out the most. We're just kind of listing what comes to our minds.
Oh no, all of it's important though, because it all is relevant to, and I also, when I was thinking of these ideas, I also was kind of more thinking of the Christmas holiday and like Easter, because
Yeah.
they're really busy. I mean, they're
Yeah.
busy. So
Yeah.
people
And
need to
They
know.
are.
we were there at Easter, and I realized something. That was the first time we'd ever been there at Easter. It was me, Sophie, Cindy, and my mom. And we had
Mhm.
so much fun. And that's,
Yeah.
of course, that was the time I shared the best banana split I've ever eaten this side of Earth or this side of heaven.
Yay.
Um, and I'm still thinking about that banana split. And what is it? September. So we are
Yeah.
5 months down the road. It
It
was
must
that
have been
good.
really good. Yeah.
But anyway,
Gotcha.
my point to that is that um, that day was really interesting because I didn't pick up on it, but as I think about it, it seems like different holidays have different waves to them. For instance, on Easter Sunday, it was Easter, and there were a lot of people there that were going for Easter holiday, and it was
Yeah.
packed in the morning because a lot of people, that's what they do. They would wake up for their families and they would do their stuff and in the morning on Easter Sunday, and then they would go home and have their Easter meal. And it seemed like on at the Magic Kingdom, it seemed like in the morning it was really busy, but then in the afternoon it wasn't nearly as bad.
That's true.
And whereas for a time like Thanksgiving, when we've been at
It's
Thanksgiving, it's like it gets really busy in the afternoon because people are there for Thanksgiving dinner, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
And
That's
so
right.
it's just you don't think about that, but it did really kind of strike me that for different holidays, there's different times that are busier than others. And so it may not be busy the entire day. And I've never
Yeah.
been on
That's
Christmas
true.
Day, but I would expect Christmas Day to be busy the whole time.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
historically, Easter Day is one of the few days a year that before COVID closed to capacity
Yeah.
regularly. Every year on Easter, the park closed to capacity. So
Really?
that's been a historically very, very busy year at the park. Busy day, sorry, of the year at the park.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whereas Thanksgiving Day, I don't think they've ever closed to capacity on Thanksgiving Day.
I don't think they have
But
either.
the Christmas holiday from, Christmas to New Year's is really busy, but yeah, just and if people know to expect that, they can work around that.
Right.
Mm.
You're right. But
And
you're
now with the
right, Brenda.
capacity limits, it may help a lot.
It may. And you're
Yeah.
right. The book as early as you can and get your travel agent's input because that
Yeah.
travel agent is your point of contact for everything you need to do,
Hmm.
you know?
Which
And
is why they're so
make those park
brilliant.
pass reservations.
Yeah,
Make
get
those
those
park
in.
pass reservations because you don't want to be standing there without a park pass reservation. So,
Yeah.
so great tips. Um, my background picture is the banner they had up for the
Yay!
40th anniversary. And we were there, and I was telling
Mhm.
Brenda off site before we got going that we had a specific plan of attack. And I think when you're going to a park on a holiday, you
Yeah.
need to have that kind of a plan in your mind. At least, it doesn't have to be formalized, written down or anything like that, but you need to have a plan of attack. And here's what our plan of attack was. We did not get there right at rope drop because we knew everybody would be.
Yeah.
So we got there at like 9:30, and we got through the gates and everything like that and got in, and most of the people had gone to the castle because I think they were doing some sort of presentation.
Mhm.
And we didn't do that. We thought that since it's the 40th anniversary, we wanted to try and take on the rides that were opening day original rides. And so that's what we were focusing on, was those original opening day rides. And we did a lot of them. I mean, we got a lot of rides in that in pretty short time, it felt
Yep.
like to me. And the thing that it really kind of caught up to us at the end of the day
Yeah.
when they were getting ready for the fireworks. That's when it really got really busy, and you basically had to stand shoulder to shoulder with everyone, and everyone was
Mhm.
packed in so crazy, and you couldn't move even if you wanted to. And that was the worst part of the whole day, was at the end.
Yeah.
So,
Although
And
I will.
speaking
but
of that, I remember that people expect too that when it's crowded like that, people are not always as cordial as they could be, and try not to let things affect you, because not everybody is the same personality and not
yeah,
everyone cares about their neighbor. So, try to just keep plugging along and do your thing and don't let anything get you down. I mean, you're there in the magic, so don't let anybody ruin it for you.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something I would agree on. However,
Uh huh.
I will say that having a plan of attack can also be a little bit difficult when you've got small kids.
Yeah.
Because with those kids, all they know is, we're at Disney. I want to ride all my favorite rides. And so if you're limiting yourself to just the original opening day rides, you're gonna see that your kids might dwindle in patience.
That's a
Oh.
good point, Sophie. And that's the whole thing is
Yeah,
when you have that plan,
yeah,
don't be
it's
afraid. Incorporate my first thing where you relax and you take it easy and you stop and smell the flowers. Um, don't be
yeah,
afraid to modify it. And I
hmm,
think, on that day, if I remember correctly, we did those opening day rides, but then we also did other ones.
yeah,
And one of the things that um it was funny, and this is specific to that day, and I have no idea if it'll be like this, for the 50th on October 1st. But on the 40th, I was like, you know what? Let's go to Pinocchio Village House for lunch.
yeah,
And we'll see if we can sit and watch the boats take off for It's a Small World. Well, we went over there and the line for Pinocchio was absolutely insane. It was like down all of Main Street to get into Pinocchio. And I'm like, it's not worth that much.
nope,
So
mm-mm,
we transitioned and we're like, let's go to Columbia Harbor House. And we went over there and we walked right in.
yeah,
and there was
Because it's
practically no
kind of
one
hidden
there.
there.
Yeah.
yeah.
So don't be afraid to adjust that.
That's right.
And I'm pretty sure we ended up sitting in the part of the restaurant that was actually in the bridge. Like there's a
So
tunnel from Liberty
uh-huh.
Square to Fantasyland. I think we sat in the part of the restaurant that
Upstairs.
made up the roof of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was very cool.
It is cool. And that's a great spot. Just, side note, if you're ever there and you just want to kind of see what's going on, go find a spot up there and just watch the people walk by. And it's just kind of an interesting perspective.
Yep.
So,
Well, I have two things to say on what y'all have been talking about. One is that when you're planning a Disney trip, part of the fun, the real fun, is planning. So sit down with your family and plan what is important, at least the top 3 things for each person in your group,
Mm-hmm.
so that you can make sure that everyone gets to do their top 3 in your plan. And then whatever else you do is gravy. The
Yeah.
second thing is, if you're anything like me, if you get to Pinocchio House and it's packed, maybe you get to Columbia Harbor House and it's packed, go get a cupcake. I mean, who says you have to eat a real meal when you're at
There you
Disney?
go.
You
That's
know,
true.
when you're there for the holidays, they have desserts and cupcakes that they only offer then.
Yeah.
That
Take
is a very
advantage of
good
that.
point.
Oh my God, have y'all seen those desserts they have for Easter? Like, they have beautiful, uh, I mean, just beautiful desserts at Easter time.
I've only known the desserts from the Flower and Garden Festival. I had a honey vanilla
Oh my gosh.
cream shake of some sort from the Orange Bird area, and I had a beignet from the France
Oh,
Pavilion.
yum. Well,
Oh,
Easter,
they were
they have
good.
beautiful cupcakes and they have little pastries made to look like a basket with little eggs. I mean, they
Ooh.
do just the most magnificent things, and I'll use any excuse whatsoever to get a
A
cupcake.
dessert.
So if I
Yeah.
can't get a real meal, I'll get one later.
There you go. Yeah. And that's part of being flexible in your day. We've all spoken to that.
Yep,
It comes
Yeah.
down to, zig when everyone else is zagging.
for sure.
Yep.
So,
Zig when everyone else is zagging is if we could put a little caption on this episode, that would be it.
yeah.
Yep.
So, great stuff. I'm liking this. This is helpful, and it's going to be helpful for us, Sophie, because we'll
Yeah.
be there on October 1st, and I'm telling you, it's not a holiday, but a
But it's
billion
a
people
celebration.
are making it a holiday because they're
Yeah,
taking off work to get there
it's gonna be
and to
awesome.
be there
Yeah.
on that day. So
It's gonna
I
be
gotta remind
awesome.
myself, remember what we talk about here.
Yep.
So
Yay.
All
anyway,
right.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else there is.
Well, one thing is, during the holidays, they offer special events like the Very Merriest After Hours event.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you want to do that, plan to do
Ooh,
that and buy your tickets early. But if you don't want to participate in those things, you might choose your park pass reservations to avoid that particular park that day. So plan around special events, whether you're going to attend them or
Mm.
not. Because if the park's going to close early for the Very Merriest celebration and you don't have a park hopper, you might want to go to a different park that day that stays open later.
that's true. Um, I have one thing that I would throw out. I have a rebuttal.
Okay.
Okay.
And it seems like when a lot of times when I look at the crowd calendars and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
when there's a party going on, a lot of people, the crowd calendar shows a lower number because I think a lot of people do think, well, I want to get my money's worth, so I'm going to go to the
Mm-hmm.
park that's open later.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if that might, you might want to take a look at the crowd calendar
That's true.
and see if it might make sense to do that, even if it is closing earlier. The nice thing about this year, COVID year, is, they're after hours parties. So the Magic Kingdom is still open, till 9 p.m., you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So you're not running out of time, where it's closing at 6 like it would normally for a
Yeah.
very Merry Christmas party.
Yeah, and I think you can get in
This
starting
year.
at 7, so that's when it'll get
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
crowded.
Yeah. So that's to me makes, just take a look at that and
Mm-hmm.
see what you got going on and whether or not it makes sense to maybe book that park even if it is closing a little bit earlier. So,
Yep.
Mhm. All
and
right.
I was going to say, some of the things, and this comes back a little bit to sitting down with everyone and planning, because just remember, it's everyone's vacation,
That's true.
and don't
That's very
don't
true.
think that you're doing this for just you and your kids, that grandma might have
Hmm.
something she wants to do,
Mhm.
and on and on and on, you know um and so when it comes down to it, you're at Disney because you want to ride the rides, right? That's part of the reason you're there. And so you might want to try and develop a plan of attack on when you
Yeah.
would want to do certain rides. So, and I think this tip might apply for both holiday times and non-holiday times. And just
Especially.
if you get there early enough, if you're there at the beginning of the day, um, a lot of people are not there at the beginning of the day because they're sleeping in a little later because they're on vacation. So if you get there
Yeah.
at the beginning of the day, you might be able to knock out some of the really popular rides first thing, you know,
Hmm.
and then you don't have as long a line for them, and then you go on and do some of the other stuff. So I mean, I know that's a no-brainer thought process, but on a busy day like a holiday, it can make a big difference, I think.
Yeah.
So,
That's very true. Plus, when you think about it, you're right, it does apply to really any Disney trip you're taking because, well, let's be honest, most of the time, people are going to Disney to celebrate something, whether it be a birthday or a holiday. Most of the time, that's what people are doing.
mhm.
And so they'll want to bring their extended family with them. It's not always just the parents and the kids. And like, you remember when we took Mima to Disney last? Mima is my grandmother, for those who don't know.
Mhm.
And she was not as big of a fan of the thrill rides as we were. So you
But
sort of
we did
gotta
get her on
alter.
Pirates,
We did get her on Pirates. We did
and
not get
she
her on Big Thunder, though.
oh no, and I would never have done that.
No,
No.
no. But remember, we did have to sort of alter the way we handled each day at the parks because of that. And I'm not saying that I would change it at all in a million years,
No.
but I just know that it was different. And
Yeah,
it kind of forced us to stop and enjoy just being there as well.
exactly.
That was a
And
blessing.
that's a
Yeah,
huge thing.
that is. That's a
So
very huge thing.
so you're absolutely right, Sophie. Sometimes someone is there who doesn't get the opportunity to go as often as you do.
Yeah,
And it makes a lot of sense to kind of tailor your trip around that person, because they're not going to be there nearly as often. And that's what we
yeah,
did with my mom. That's what we did with me, mom. We tailored it to her, and we did the rides that she would want to do, and that's and it worked out really well.
it
You know,
did.
on that last day, on Easter Sunday, we got there early. We ate breakfast first at, what was it, Sophie? What was the name of the place in Fantasyland by Winnie the Pooh? So, Brenda,
Oh, Friar's Nook.
the Friar's Nook. We ate breakfast there because they were serving breakfast,
Yeah,
and then um, we there was a short line. It looked longer than it was for Winnie the Pooh, but on that day we did like 10 or 11 rides,
yeah,
and we
we
were
did.
there a lot longer than I thought we would be. I thought after we had dinner at the plaza we'd be heading back to the resort, but
Yeah,
she was up for it, and we did a lot more in that day than I thought we would, and it was a great last day at Disney. So,
Yay. Plus, you got your banana split.
and I got my banana split at the plaza. So,
yeah. All right.
yeah. So sometimes you do want to see the park through someone else's eyes who's not there as often. And that was what makes the trip sometimes really a lot of fun for me,
Yeah.
is just being able
Yeah.
to see it and know that, my mom hadn't been there in 15 years. So,
Yeah. Last time she went with us, I was only 4.
yeah.
Wow.
That's
So,
awesome. Awesome memories.
yeah. All right. Any other tips? Any other tricks?
Well, I have a
Mm,
practical tip. It seems like I
mm,
always come back to bathrooms. I don't know why, but bathrooms, I have 3 kids. I
Yeah.
mean, I have 3 kids, I have 4 grandkids, and bathrooms are busy at Disney. So if you are on the path going to anywhere and you happen to notice that a bathroom has no line,
Use it.
consider going ahead and stopping. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah. Unless, of course, you just went like 2
well,
minutes
yeah,
ago.
but if it's a time that everyone could use a break and it happens to not be busy, go ahead and take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know
anything
what?
that you can save time later.
I was gonna say we need to have a show on where the best non-busy bathrooms are.
Well, it depends on the crowd. It depends on the crowd flow and what's going on. I know that's a shame, but
Oh,
what can you do?
goodness.
I was
Well,
gonna
we
say
also,
Definitely,
that the
definitely the one
bathroom.
in Main Street.
Well, I was gonna say
Main
the
Street.
bathroom over by Winnie the Pooh on the right side there, before
yeah,
across the street
right
from.
by my Cheshire cat tail.
Yeah, right by Cheshire
Yeah,
Cattail. It seems like it's never busy.
that is very
Yeah, I
true.
think it's kind of
So
hidden.
I think it's hidden. So
It was
It
hidden. Now
is.
it's
every
not because
listener,
we have a million followers. So
I know our million
Well,
followers are all going to go to that bathroom now because
we're
they heard it from Mike
complete.
here first.
We're completely ruining all of our secrets on this
that's
thing.
right. Because we are happy to share. We're givers.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
givers.
We also eat breakfast before we go to the park. We don't schedule any early morning breakfast or anything, and we carry snacks in our backpack to have any time in case we're, you know,
Hangry.
needing. Yes. Yes. We don't
Yeah.
count on stopping for big meals on the busiest day at the park.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
fair.
and that makes sense. I we did quick service except for our on Easter. We did quick service except for our Easter Sunday
Plaza.
Plaza reservation, and it wasn't what I thought, because I was hoping they would have, like, a ham or something, Eastery, that you
Yeah.
could, but they didn't, and I didn't see anywhere where I could get that, but it was still a good meal.
I
Um,
mean, they did have the club sandwich that mommy got.
yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm like sliced ham from a big old
Yeah.
ham bone.
Yeah.
um, and then Thanksgiving we'll typically do a later Thanksgiving dinner somewhere, whether it's this past year we did it at Columbia, at not Columbia Harbor House, at Liberty Tree Tavern,
Yeah.
and that was cool.
I love
And
Liberty Tree Tavern.
then on October 1st, as it gets later in the day, we're going to be eating at the Kona Cafe because we couldn't get reservations for Ohana. So,
Yeah.
but that's like a later in the afternoon kind of thing, and I think it'll be a good point for us to do that after being there
Yeah.
for a day.
Oh
So,
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
great. That'll be perfect. You'll need a break. You get to ride the monorail.
yeah, yeah,
I Okay, since you brought up the resorts, I mean, we're talking about
Yeah.
planning during the holidays. I mean,
Yeah.
the resorts offer so many awesome decorations. So
oh
you
yeah,
have to go visit the monorail resorts, especially like the gingerbread exhibits. And then the boardwalk resorts have beautiful decorations too. So take some time and do stuff like that. That's something you can't do any other time of the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Take
That's
one day
true.
at least and do some stuff that's not in the park.
Yeah,
Disney
and
Springs even has stuff.
and it doesn't even need to be like a full day.
Right.
Like, you could just, instead of eating at the Crystal Palace, you could say, "Hey, I want to go eat at the Grand Floridian Cafe."
Hmm.
And then you're over
Yeah.
there and you get to see what the lobby looks like and everything like that.
Yeah.
and you're not really interrupting a full day of part-time, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
worth
And
very
it for
true.
sure.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's those sorts of things are really neat to experience because you're right. You don't see the gingerbread house in July.
No,
No,
Yeah,
you
take
don't.
advantage of those holiday offerings for
Yeah.
sure.
If you're there at a
mm-hmm.
holiday, you definitely want to do that. So Sophie's like, give me
Yeah,
some gingerbread cookies while you're there, okay? And ship them to my house.
yep. And take pictures of all the Christmas trees, all of them. Don't leave
Yep,
a single one unphotographed.
Yeah.
yep. Good
Yep.
point.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
Another thing about pictures, my family's traditionally traveled like before the Thanksgiving holiday.
Mhm.
And so that's where we have for years taken our holiday photos. So we take our photos of the family, during the holiday, and
Uh-huh.
then we get back, we have them printed, and that's the holiday photo. So think about maybe doing some holiday photos for your Christmas cards or New Year's cards or whatever you send while you're there. Plan that into your activity and plan your outfit or whatever for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
I
Good
like
thing.
that.
I
You
think these are
guys are so
great
much
tips.
better at this than me. I had no
Well,
idea what I was gonna do.
Oh my gosh, you have great ideas, Sophie.
yeah.
Plus, you have so many
Mercy.
more years you'll be visiting when we're long gone. Thank God you're going to be carrying on the tradition.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you talk about that? That's sad.
It's a horrible week. um,
Oh,
oh, another thing is people like what Mike was talking about earlier about how everyone congregated for the fireworks. Think about maybe when he was saying you go to the Grand Floridian and maybe have breakfast at the cafe, maybe do that for dinner and watch the fireworks from there instead of from inside the park.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't want to even go over and mess with the whole bus transportation thing to get back to your resort, just take an Uber from there to your resort. I mean, you can plan around things like that. And that's a good idea too. It's kind of neat to sit out there and watch them from outside the resort.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. It is neat. And one of the things we were gonna do um, in March that we had to cancel because of COVID was we were going to have dinner at the Cali Grill, and that one had to be canceled. We
Yeah.
couldn't get a reservation when it reopened, and
Yeah.
so and now it's going.
Yeah. It's going bye bye.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Just
you know,
remembering.
wasn't meant to be. So, but that would have been a great place to see the fireworks from too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
You can also see them from the campgrounds, which brings me to another tip.
Hmm.
I don't know how many people out there know it, but there are people who travel in their RVs every year to go to Walt Disney World during the holidays. And these people are fans that bring awesome decorations and they decorate all around their RVs with Christmas lights, blow up things.
Huh?
It's awesome. So you can I don't know if you know it or not, but you can rent a golf cart over there. And if you're staying at the cabins, I usually recommend renting a golf cart anyway to get to and from. But even if you're not staying at the cabins, you can rent a golf cart and do a little Christmas lights tour. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very
They go
true.
all out over there, and you can
They
see the
do.
fireworks from over there.
And I'm telling you, P&J's, their fried chicken is incredible.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it's like
Yeah,
no
plan your
one
dinner
it's
meal
like
over
no
there,
one
go
knows
look at
it,
the lights and watch the
it's
fireworks. It's
like
awesome.
no one knows they're there
Well,
and
they
you
do
order.
now. Our million followers are
Well,
gonna
that's
know now.
true. That's true.
Yeah, that's
But
very true.
yeah, and
Phew.
you're right, Brenda. The people that decorate and they're not just there for a week or a
I
weekend.
know.
They're there for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, it
Yeah,
seems
they're
Yeah,
like.
awesome people too. It's fun.
they're
Mhm.
very awesome.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
guess because it's so much more affordable with the campgrounds, because you can bring your RV and stuff and
Yeah.
keep it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
It's
decorate their little golf carts and everything.
Uh-huh.
It's really something to see.
And even
yeah,
when we were there in July of 2020, there obviously they didn't have Christmas lights out, but people still had their cabins and
decorations.
they put their Mickey lamp posts up
Yeah.
and everything like that. And so you were seeing stuff and it wasn't a holiday at all. It wasn't the 4th, it wasn't any of it. It was just people still putting out their stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Disney fans are the best people ever.
Yeah,
Yes, they
definitely.
are. They definitely are.
So
Yay.
Whew. I love holidays at Disney, don't you?
Yeah,
do.
definitely.
So quick recap.
Yeah.
Stop and smell the roses.
Mhm.
Different holidays have different waves of when they're busier than others. Um, before you even get there, use a travel agent. Call Brenda.
Or Mike.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Or
Book your
Mike.
trip early. Book your trip when you can because A, you get to make your park reservations right then, to make sure you get your park that you're there. But B, you also have that much more time to pay on your trip, you
That's
know?
right.
That's very true.
That
Yeah.
is right.
Um, plan what you want to do with all of the family that's going to be there. Get your top 3 whatevers for each park from everyone so that you can incorporate that into your plan of attack, you know?
That makes
Um,
for a great Sunday dinner activity, by the way. That's what
oh
we did.
yeah,
We had everybody
yeah,
here for Sunday dinner and planned trip. It's just so much fun to plan.
yeah. And then also, um, maybe plan around the special events. So, if you're going to a special event, then plan what park you want to do before that special event begins. Or if you're not going to a special event, plan and decide whether or not you want to do a different park because it's closing earlier, or check the crowd calendars to see if it still makes sense to do that park
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Um, and then have a plan. And it all comes down to plan, doesn't it, Brenda?
Oh,
But
yeah.
have a plan on what rides, what you want to do when you get there, so that you can get the most out of your park time. Because
Yep.
you do want to take in the parks and you want to take in the rides and you want to experience all the things that makes Disney Disney. So
Yep. Plan your
so
rope drop rides.
yeah. So and that by doing that, you'll be ahead of the game because you'll be doing those things when everyone else is just getting there. And so you'll have done them and they'll be in line.
Yep.
Mhm.
And don't forget about the resorts,
Nope.
Look at
Do
the
not forget
resorts
the
as a
resorts.
way to experience things you wouldn't normally experience, whether it's a
Hmm.
Christmas decorations or a Thanksgiving meal or a different viewpoint to see the fireworks or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Because
about
they're
the resorts.
they're not just there for you to sleep.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They're not
Especially
just there
not
for you
during
to
the
sleep.
holidays.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And remember, you're there and you're there at a holiday.
Yeah.
So be
Plan accordingly.
thankful. Be
Make
thankful
the
though
most
also
of it.
of the fact that you have the opportunity to be there.
Yes, be thankful and try to keep your perspective that way. And
Yeah.
don't
Mm.
forget the cupcakes, for God's sake, people.
Yeah.
Don't
Not
forget the
every meal needs to
desserts.
be, chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
Yep,
Don't forget Brenda's number one tip. Get a
that's right.
cupcake
It's
instead of a
always
meal.
cupcakes. It's always cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
My kids were never allowed to eat dessert before their food, but at Disney, oh yeah. Every meal, if they want a dessert first, that's what they got.
Pretty sure at one point in time, we were nearing the end of our stay at Pop Century, and it was the last night we were there. We were going back the next morning, and we had just gotten back from the parks. We had stayed till closing or something. And I was like, Mommy, I want something sweet. And my mom was like,
So do I.
Normally, I would not. And then, so we went to Pop Century. We got ourselves like brownies and stuff.
Yum.
And as we sat there in the food court eating the brownies, my mom was like, it is almost midnight. And if we were anywhere else, I would not have let you eat this brownie.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
It
The
was
rules
Wrong
go
time.
out
so
the
funny.
window.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're at Disney. Everything's
Yay!
good at Disney.
And that
Yep.
small, tiny thing adds so much magic to
Uh-huh.
the
Yep.
kids.
And to the adults.
Yeah.
Unless the kids are like awake all night long because they ate sugar that late, then you have a different issue. And I'm not, everybody's different. Everybody reacts to things differently. So
Well, thankfully for me, I was at that point very used to having sugar in my intake. So I was not
You slept
affected by
fine.
it.
yay,
And
sleep
I
like a
wasn't
baby.
affected by it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
And this
right.
year is going to be a little different too. We have to at least mention this, even though we don't know all the details. Disney Genie is going to affect the way we park tour this year completely
Right.
because you'll be able to choose what you want to do when you're in the park. So it's going to affect probably all these things because it's going to kind of plan your itinerary based on what you want to do and the times, the current wait times and all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind because whenever it really comes out, we'll be able to test it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm
Yeah,
cautiously optimistic on the free part of the Disney Genie.
me too. Me too.
So that's the viewpoint I'm taking until we see otherwise.
Yes,
You know?
that's a good viewpoint.
So all right.
All
All
right.
Does that wrap up our
I think
feature
so.
topic?
Yep,
Yay.
I believe
Now I want to go
so.
for the holidays.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us and for joining us on our feature topic. And now it is time to turn it over to Sophie for this day in Disney history for September 6th.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have two bits of Disney history,
Uh-huh.
and I was originally going to have four, but I think I'm going to stick to just the two,
Okay.
especially considering the fact that, well, actually, I think I picked you know what? Never mind. I'm just going to say what they are. I was going to talk about the other two, but enough about that, because I really like these two, despite them not really, tying into what our feature topic was about. And they both take place on the exact same year in 2005. And in 2005, Toy Story celebrated its 10th anniversary with the release of a special 2-disc DVD edition. The film was also released on UMD, a first for Buena Vista. UMD Universal Media Disc is a Sony-created disc format for use on their PlayStation
Oh.
Portable Entertainment System.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is also reported that Disney's Buena Vista Music Group, which produces soundtracks for Disney movies and albums for singers such as Hilary Duff, has signed a deal with EMI, the world's third largest music company.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what I had.
Very
The,
good.
the Toy Story anniversary one I think is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. Uh-oh, I saw that. I saw you moving the book. Did you see that, Sophie?
I
Did
saw
you
the
see
cover of it, so there's
You
not
saw the
really
cover.
much.
I saw the
Right.
cover,
Yeah.
yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes.
So you didn't see the
Yeah.
character.
No, I just saw you
No.
sneaking that book in there.
Well, I have a unique Who's Who character. Let's see if we can stump the Soph.
Good
And
luck.
the Brenda.
Oh, you could stump me all day long, but Sophie's on a way different plane than I am.
Hee hee.
Well, this character is a handsome English soldier.
Handsome English soldier. Okay, give me more.
This character was appointed captain.
John Smith.
That's what I was thinking. Is it?
Yeah, it is. My last clue was going to be that this character is based on a real life person.
I had a feeling it was John Smith, but I couldn't be sure just yet. So that's why I
Wow.
asked for the
Very
second one.
Why did
Very
you know it
good.
was John Smith? I
Well,
thought it was kind of a good one.
it was a good one.
Yep.
And he was the first one that came to mind, but I was like, wait, ask for another one. Because there are multiple English characters in Disney Universe.
Okay. Well, Captain John Smith, Captain John Smith is based on an actual person. In real life, he became friends with Pocahontas, but was not involved in a romantic relationship with her,
That's
as
right.
he was many years older than she was.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but that's our Disney Who's Who,
Very
and
good, Soph.
good job,
Thank
Sophie.
you.
And this Pocahontas, I think, is underappreciated. I don't know. It is
I
by me, I
agree.
think.
I
But
agree.
that's like part based on history. And for us, Brenda, we live 2 hours from where that history was made.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 hours maybe, because we're in North Carolina and we're talking about Jamestown in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's easy enough to get to. So that's what makes it kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So anyway, but that's my Disney Who's Who character, and I was not able to stump the Soph.
Nope, you were
Don't
not.
worry. You might get it next week.
I might. I'm gonna start pulling out the obscure ones.
Oh.
Didn't
it'll
you
be
try
like
that?
it'll
Didn't
be
you
like
try that
the
already?
the itty bitty little car from Planes or something like that.
Be prepared for that, Soph.
All right.
Anyway, Brenda, it's time for
it's
a little bit of Walt.
Gotta love Walt. I just make what I like. Warm and human stories, ones about historic characters and events, and about animals. If there's a secret, I guess it's that I never make pictures too childish, but always try to get in a little satire of adult foibles. Walt Disney.
Walt Disney. And that is a
And
great
that's how you make a good character too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're not just making a kiddie movie
that's right.
like Kiddie Ride that we love to enjoy.
That's right.
Toss back to a few episodes back. But you're making a movie that everyone enjoys.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so, taking us to next week, I think we should do our 3-part series on our favorite resort, value, moderate, deluxe. What do you think?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Okay.
What are
Brenda,
we starting with?
You're in charge of that. Deluxe,
Oh, no.
value, moderate. You pick the one that we're starting with.
What do you think, Sophie?
No,
I'm not
it's your
saying
choice.
it's
Your
your
choice,
choice.
Brenda.
I'm
Your
just getting
choice.
all my things in order for when you do eventually pick one of the 3.
Yeah. Flip a coin.
Well, a coin only
let's-
has 2 sides.
Let's start with value, go to moderate, and then deluxe.
Deluxe.
There you go.
All
So,
right.
Favorite value resort and why.
Awesome.
So that's what we're talking about next week. And I am looking forward to hear what everybody likes about their value resort.
That's great.
All
Okay.
right.
I am writing it down. So
Okay.
so yay. Okay.
Hopefully we don't all say the same resort.
Pop Century. Oh gosh.
Well, at least we could have 3 different reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
That's true. All right. Tell you what.
All
We'll
right,
flip
guys.
a coin after the show ends to see who gets Pop Century, and then the other 2 can figure out something else.
Yeah, All right. Well,
All
that
right.
wraps us up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we are going to see you next week. Hope everyone has a great week, had a great holiday. And we will
See
see
you
you
See
on
you
the
on
road.
the road.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.